My best friend slept with my husband, so I got her kids taken by Child Protection Services. I found out last month that my best friend of 11 years and my husband have been sleeping together for a year right under my nose. I thought my husband might be cheating on me, but who would have thought that he would be doing it with my best friend while she was smiling and lying in my face the entire time? I was a teen mom, and my best friend is a year older than me. She was the only person there for me during my pregnancy other than my husband, and held my hand as I gave birth. I thought we had a loving friendship, and she felt more like family than my best friend. She spent loads of time at my house, and she was actually the one to introduce my husband and I since they had been friends in high school. I had a really rough pregnancy, and labor left me with a lot of lasting medical issues. My body had been put through so much, and I needed almost 5 months to heal after giving birth, until I felt ready to put my body through intimacy again. My husband admitted to me that he was feeling very actually frustrated. We hadn't had sex in about 8 months, and I was getting upset at myself for feeling like a failing wife. I wanted to make my husband happy, and I didn't want him to feel actually frustrated, but intimacy would have been too painful, and I just wanted to heal before I tried it again. My best friend was spending a lot more time at our house to help me emotionally deal with everything. What kind of sick person comforts their crying best friend over their marriage while knowing they are helping destroy it? Things got tense in my marriage until out of nowhere, when my husband suddenly stopped acting so gloomy and his mood seemed to perk up out of nowhere. He was happier and seemed to have a little pep in his step. I also caught him smiling at his phone once in a while. I started to suspect, but I was just so tired and feeling so bad about myself that I never confronted him. Yet everything completely exploded a couple of weeks ago when I caught them in the act for the first time. My best friend had come over on a Sunday, and we were all home together. I wanted to take a nap, so the two of them watched the baby together while I slept. I still can't believe how bold they were. I woke up to the sound of them moaning together in the living room. I didn't reveal myself. I just peeked around the corner to confirm what I thought was happening. Sure enough, there was my husband and my childhood best friend, hooking up on my family couch. They were being so loud it was like they didn't even care if I heard. Seeing that, it felt like my brain just turned off and went on autopilot. I had to realize at that moment that the two people I cared about most in this life had betrayed me, and my entire life was a complete lie. There was nothing in my mind but static as I left them to it and went back to bed. I didn't want to confront them that night. Instead, I formed a plan. I had already thought my husband might have been cheating, so I would gather evidence for our eventual divorce. But first, my focus was on my best friend. My husband was a cheating bastard, but she was downright evil in my eyes for doing this to another woman, let alone her best friend. My friend has 2 small children that she loves more than anything in this world, and if she was going to rob me of all the stability in my life, well, that's what I'd do to her. I bought hard illegal drugs, a bunch of small baggies, and over the course of a week, I hid them in her house and in her car. After they were all planted, I made an anonymous call to the cops saying my friend had been selling drugs out of her car and house. On top of that, I had been putting a tiny amount of the drugs into her drinks whenever she had been visiting me, just so it was in her system. The cops came to her house and searched her car. After they found the drugs in her car, they searched her home too, and found the rest, resulting in her arrest. She is a single mom with no other family, so if she goes to jail, her kids will go into the foster system. When my husband found out what had happened to her, he came home in tears. He begged for the truth and asked if I had anything to do with this. I just stared at him without saying anything. He asked me how I could ruin her children's lives like that, and all I told was that she had ruined my child's life as well as mine, and that I wished he could rot in prison just like her.